Uh, yeah, incredible opportunity here, guys, because Danny's only 52. He's built this in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I can't see 52 from here.
All right, man. Let's get this kicked off. How are you?
I'm awesome, man. Let's talk to some people. See if we can't get somebody to see this thing for what it really is. Because that's the problem with most people. They don't stay here long enough to see it. They don't stay here long enough to get strong enough to make it here. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Building this business takes time. It takes thick skin. It takes
yeah,
endurance. It
yeah.
takes the ability to like have a short memory loss when it comes to getting told no and to keep moving on. It takes personal growth. It takes a lot of things. I can remember probably 20 different things that you kept just drilling in, just listening to your Sunday night call, just drilling in and drilling in all these things that it takes to build. And early on when you hear these things in the business, you're like, I'm excited about this. Why does it take thick skin? Like I'm still, I just got my license and I'm ready to help my first six people, just like Scott keeps telling me to. And I don't, why does it take thick skin? Why do you got to get used to being told no so much? I don't see that. But you will experience that eventually. And so I'm thankful for all the different things that you taught us when we were new that kind of prepared us for the long run here. But why do you drill in so much on that stuff? Why does that stuff matter?
Well, it's everything. It's all mental strength is what it is. You got to be psychologically strong here. And for one reason, we deal with people, and everybody's different. We'd like for everybody to be like us. They're not, okay? And so you come from a world typically where, your parents told you what to do, and then your teachers told you what to do, and your coaches told you what to do, and your professors told you what to do, and your boss is telling you what to do now. And so you show up here waiting on somebody to tell you what to do, and nobody tells you what to do. You have to learn yourself what it takes to win here, and you have to decide if you're willing to put in the work to win here. But it's all about mental strength because other people, if you're going to win big here, you're going to have other people plug into you. And if you're not a mentally strong person, when somebody else plugs into you, you both die. And so that's why you got to get better is in order to get bigger. How many people see being an agency owner, and y'all have learned this, Scott, but being an agency owner is not about what you know, it's about what you can handle. And it's all about handling people because they're all different. They all look, you recruit somebody, you don't just get them. You get them and all their problems. That big green garbage bag slung over their shoulder, that's what they want to come dump on your desk. And you have to be strong enough mentally to be able to handle that and show people how to make this journey that you're making. So it's all mental strength. And you look at the top of the company, you look at the 130s, I promise you they're just mentally stronger than the rest. So and how do you get mentally strong? It's easy, I think. Number one, you read the right stuff. Number two, you attend the right stuff. Stuff like this. See, this is where you come to learn what it takes to win here, is on calls like this. So you got to read, you got to attend, you got to associate with the right people. That's the coolest part about symmetry is that you can learn from anybody here. Matter of fact, you can learn from anybody because you can learn what not to do and you learn what to do. All right. So, but you got to associate with the right people. If you want to be a winner, you got to associate with winners. You got to be able to know who those winners are. And it's not hard to do that here because everybody, think about this. Every single person in symmetry will tell you everything that they do. Everything. There's no secrets around here. But the fourth thing you got to do to get mentally strong is you got to struggle. And that's what eliminates most people because we're kind of wired to avoid struggle, but struggle is your friend. Struggle makes you stronger, not weaker. All those times that you don't know if you could even get up one more time, you can get up one more time, and you get it when you get up one more time, you're stronger than you were when you got knocked down. And that just prepares you for the next time you got to get knocked down. And if you do that enough, which is what the winners do, you get to the point where you can't be knocked down. And that's where the 130s and the equity partners are, because they see, look, you're not going wherever you get here, wherever it is. You're not going to sell your way there. You're not even going to build your way there. You're going to grow your way there. It's the only way to do it. You got to grow you. If you grow you, they will come, I think is how the movie said. So it's all about mental strength.
Yeah. Every time I've talked about goals around you, you always tell me don't focus on the goals. I'd
focus
love
on
for the
growth.
new agents to hear why first, because we are a promotion focused business, and I don't think you were
We
telling me
are.
not to focus on promotions. I think you were telling me to focus on the stuff that mattered, rather than going on like an agency owner run or I'm gonna go on a 110 run or those types of things. You told me don't even focus on that. Just focus
No,
on.
I don't talk like that because see an AO run, any kind of run means that there's a finish line. It means you cross the finish line, then you can just what I call, you and Kayla understand, is plop. You just plop, okay? You stop. You get complacent. You think you've arrived. No, there's not a run. And you're not, look, once again, you're not going to sell your way to AO. You're not going to build your way to AO. You're going to grow your way to AO. If you don't grow enough to attract five other agents writing business and y'all do a certain amount, you're not going to get there. And so I don't even like goals, tell you the truth. This is heresy, I know, but I don't. People say, "What are your goals?" I have one goal. It's the same goal I've had the day. Matter of fact, I'll make my 12-year anniversary next week. And when I came here, I had the same one goal that I have every day of my life. Okay, I get up every day and I try to find somebody to have a positive impact on. That is it. I don't have a premium goal. I don't have an income goal. I don't have any of that stuff. I got a limited brain, okay? I'm like an amoeba. And so I have to simplify things so that I can understand it. But I just get up and try to help somebody. That's all I do. And I know if I do that enough, because Scott, here's a mistake a lot of leaders make, okay? They want to get their entire team in a room and just fire hose them with motivation, okay? I don't do that. I don't move my team that way. I move my team by moving the person I'm talking to at the time. And y'all were two of them. Okay. I've had conversation with people on your team. I talked with Sarah Hadley, one of my favorite people. I just try to move them. And that's how I move my agency. And, I also learned early on that winners win and losers lose. That's never going to change ever. It's always been that way. And when I say loser, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean they can't win here. Okay. They don't win here. But I took that I believe winners win, losers lose, and I combined it with a loser is going to lose no matter what you do for them, and a winner is going to win no matter what you don't do for them. Our job, Scott, me and you, Kate, our job is to just pay attention and identify the winners. And that's who we work with. But so many people in cemetery spend the majority of their time trying to turn a two into a 10. It's just not going to work. Go out there and get you a good solid six or seven and work with them and see what they can become. Because you're gonna win with the people that develop into leaders. That's who you're gonna win with. And it's not gonna be everybody. You look at my agency, I've got, I call out on Sunday night the app count. I call out everybody who writes at least three apps. That's about 80 people a week out of 265 we had last week. So what does that mean? We got 180 or something that write one or two apps. Same way that your agency is going to look. It looks like that now. You're going to have a lot doing a little, and you're going to have a few doing a lot. It's never going to change. People spend all their time trying to get everybody to do a lot. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. But it's all about you growing you. And here's once again that struggle is the biggest component of that because I'm telling you, it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. You keep getting up. Every time you get up, you're stronger. Every time. And you get to the point where you can't be knocked down. And that's the people that attract people and can handle people and can deal with problems and show people, how to get along, get down the road on this journey. We're all on the same journey. We're all on the yellow brick road. We're going to Emerald City, meet the wizards. But most people don't get very far down the road because somebody punches them in the throat. There they go, which is good news to me. You understand? You understand the size? It's just common sense to me, okay? If I want to make money, which is what I wanted to do when I got in the insurance industry, 41, I've been licensed 41 years, hard to believe. I wanted to make money. So it was just common sense. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't we start where all the money lives? How about that idea? We got a better shot at making money if we go where all of it is, and all of it is in the insurance industry, the investment industry, all of it. Banks borrow from insurance companies, okay? It's an $8 to $9 trillion industry that we're in. It's a money buffet. You've heard me do this before, but if you take $1,000 bills and stack them on top of each other flat, $1,000 bills, $1 million of $1,000 bills is 4 inches tall. 4 inches. $1 trillion of $1,000 bills is 67 miles tall. We're in an $8 to $9 trillion agency. And people say, Scott, you ever start saying, I'm just not making any money. I'm not making what I thought I'd make. I'm not making what so and so is making. Here's how the insurance industry works, okay? This might help. You send them no apps, they send you no money. Some people have a problem with that, okay? You send them a few apps, they send you a little money. You send them a lot of apps, they send you a lot of money. Look, we're gonna send the carriers, Scott. Y'all are a big part of this. We're gonna send the carriers over 30,000 applications this year. 30,000. Okay. My name will not be on any of them, but I am responsible for all of them. And that's how you get paid here. Another reason you want to build is because you don't get paid for what you do. You get paid for what you're responsible for getting done. And me and Sandy going to be responsible this year for 30,000 applications. And we're going to get paid on every single one that gets issued. And so that's how the insurance industry works. So if you want to make more money, look, send them more apps.
We- we-
It's an industry that cannot send money out fast enough to people that send them business.
I think a few people just made money on this screen. There was side bets for if you would say the word money buffet. There were several
What
side bets
y'all
going.
got a bingo card going or something?
Yeah. Yep. 100%. That's good. That's good. I like the money buffet. I think Wilbur wanted me to mention the aqueducts. What was it? How do I say the word, Wilbur? Oh, that was Bob. Can you explain what this word means to me?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Wilbur.
so basically, hey Danny, how are you?
I was awesome before you brought in that big word.
Well, this is one that I remember from early on when I started in the business. You had said, you can basically, build a village and you can have, all these different workers bringing, one bucket at a time,
Oh yeah,
as
bucket
far as
carrier.
water and everything, but you
Yeah.
can build an aqueduct
Not
and
what I said.
basically,
I said I could build a pipeline. See, people know what pipeline means. They got no clue what an aqua. I thought that was like a Kentucky Derby or something.
When
A
Bob
horse
texted me, I
race.
was like, I have to go to Chat GPT. I'll be right back. I have no idea what this means, but it sounds
he
cool.
used aqueduct at the time. So
No, that word has never come out of my mouth, Bob, ever, ever. I spend most of my time trying to figure out why you got two B's in your or three B's in your first name. That's always been a mystery to me.
hey, you know what? I'll
Babu.
say this, Danny, you got two N's in your name.
I do, but not three B's in a four-letter word. There's just mysteries. We'll live with it. But you're exactly right. I'm glad you brought that up because this is what I did when I showed up here. Okay, Scott, I'm sure we've talked about this, but when I showed up, end of November 2013, cemetery was 4 years old.
Mm,
The only people were Matt and Brad Smith. Everybody else was just personally producing, really.
right.
Edward was recruiting. He and Delaney were recruiting, but they were only recruiting full-time people. Full-time. So you either had not have a job or you had to quit your job if you want to come work with cemetery. And so when I saw that nobody was building, I knew in a heartbeat that I'm going to do some damage here. I knew that from the get-go because I didn't want to do all the work. I wanted to build a team because I knew I could be responsible for more applications with a team than I could by myself. And so everybody else is they walking down the hill to the stream, filling their bucket up and walking back up the hill and dumping it in the bathtub. I am building a pipeline down there, and I'm gonna have a motor that's going to suck that water out of the stream into that pipeline into the bathtub. And look, I knew initially that the bucket carriers were going to beat me because I am building something and it's not operating yet. Okay. But I also knew that once I finished that pipeline and turned that motor on and that water started being sucked up the hill, I was going to pass people like they're standing still. And we have. We have. And it's because we have a system, and that system is where we're gonna build an agency, and we're gonna build a lot of it through the people that we have. I do a lot of getting people through people I have, people I want through people I have, and there's going to be a lot of trust in our agency, and there's going to be we're going to try to keep it as simple as we can, and we're going to show people how to win because we know how to win. And that's all it's been. Now, does everybody win? No, which is good news because you understand this money buffet we talked about. This money buffet is the same size whether your hands are in it or not. And so if you weenie out, you disappear. You got to take your hands with you. But the money's the same size, and you can look. Where in the world can you go and have 100% control over your schedule and 100% control over your income? Given a choice, I mean, think about this, Scott. You've had two or three jobs before you showed up here. If you had a choice, if you could pick any human being on earth, there's 8 billion of them. If you could pick any human being to be in charge of your income, who would you pick? Yourself. And yet most people don't. Most people's income is determined by somebody else or a committee or per hour or a union, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to control my time. I want to control my income, and I do both. And if I'm
Okay,
gonna look, I can.
I should have said Kate Schnitzer. I would want
Well,
her to be in charge and
no,
she would pay me more.
she'd pay you more, but
Yeah.
you'd also have more chores to do. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. 100%. That was
But
good.
think about that. Think about because here's the thing with symmetry. I wish everybody could see this. Okay. You're not here fighting for money. You're here fighting for freedom. And
100%.
that's what you want. You want control over your life. You want to get up. Sandy Young and I get up every day and we get to decide the who and the where and the when and the how long every day. Every single day we get to decide that. Nobody
Do you
tells us,
remember back when we started going up to dinner together? Which by the way, for you guys who don't know, we used to live about 45 minutes away from Danny.
right?
So
That's
when
right.
he met us, when we met him, we were 70% agents and he was like, let's go out to dinner sometime. And just imagine all my brand new 80% agents sitting on the screen right now. Someone who runs a $30 million a year business wants to take you out to dinner. And you're like, why would you want to go out to dinner with me? Okay, so we waited a few months, but we ended up going out and grabbing a few bites to eat, 16 to be exact, right?
That's right.
They weren't all
That's
at
right.
Ruth Chris, but a few of them were. But like, how bad did Kate and I just want like when we talked to you, how much anxiety or I wouldn't even call it good. It was like a healthy anxiety. It was like a desire that we wanted just to have more freedom in our lives. Like that's all we really talked about.
Yeah.
All we talked about was what we wanted our future to look like.
No products at all.
And
No products at
you
all.
knew that we were going to be here for the long haul because you knew we would have put up with just about anything to get that.
That's right.
And I mean,
And look, I
not only
met
the good
you,
things, but the
met
tough
y'all in
things.
Denver, right? Met y'all in Denver before conference started. Found
Yep.
out that you live 45 miles from us, 45 minutes from us. And you ever see that movie that little kid said, I see dead people? See, I see winners. I'm telling you, I do. And I look, we talked for maybe 3 minutes, and I said, this couple can play. They can play. Let's go. So hey, let's go eat somewhere, okay? And so it took us 4 months to get on their schedule. The busiest two people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we're begging them, please come eat with us. And finally, they did, and then we made it a habit. But it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome because look, we're in the communication business. This is a transfer of knowledge business. For everybody on this call, y'all need to know what the Schnitzers know. Y'all need to know what I know. And the only way you're going to do that is through communicating. Only way. That's how you're going to grow your brain because you can't operate on your brain's waves, okay? Because your brain today, the one that's in your head today, got you where you are today. You want to get where Scott is, you gotta grow a brain like Scott grew his. That's what this thing is about. And so how do you do that? You emulate people. You work on their brain waves instead of yours, their mindset instead of yours. Because I'm telling you, your mindset got you where you are today. And if you want to go somewhere else, because this is the way I say it, wherever you are today, wherever that is, you have behaved your way there. And if you
Hmm.
want to go to a better place, you got to behave your way to the better place.
Yeah.
And
One
you
thing
and
I
you
love that you
learn.
also put in front of us early on, I want our agents to hear this is a lot of people romanticize the why of their business. like why they're doing it. And I do too. Don't get me wrong. Look at my wife's screen right now. Like I've got my why right there in one box. We're just missing Liam. All right, he's
Yeah.
sleeping right now. I have a why for sure, but I got crystal clear on the what. I got at so crystal clear on the what that I was able to get through pretty much everything that being a new agent and building a new business had to offer me, the highs and the lows of that. So why do you want people to focus more on what they want? And for someone that, remember back to these conversations of you coaching us through this, what type of questions would you ask them and what do you want them to think about?
Well, here's you're not going to win with what you know. You're going to win here with what you want because this is how we're wired as human beings. Okay, what you want determines what you do, and what you do determines what you get. So if you want to get more, it's not about doing more, it's about wanting more. It's all about what's important to you. Okay. And so what I do, Scott, is since I'm nothing more than a coach, okay. I need to know what every player wants. Because we tend to think everybody comes here to be a millionaire. They don't. They don't. Okay. I got people that want to make $500 a month. I'm gonna help them do that. Okay. Pay tuition for one kid. I've got people that make 5,000 a month part time. I've got because that's what they want to work for. I've got AOs that make 75,000 a month. That's what they see because it's going to grow. See, when somebody comes here wanting to make $1,000 a month and they see how easy it was to make that thousand, they're going to want to make 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. Okay, and so you're always raising what you think you can do. Most people come here they don't think they can do much, but they see how easy our system is. If you work the system 100% of the time, that sucker will pay off for you 100% of the time. And so, but I ask these questions. I ask these questions because I want to know immediately what they want. I'll give them a pop quiz. They can. Would you want to be a producer where you have access to our lead system? We're going to teach you how to dial, teach you how to set appointments, run appointments, find something that works for the people, write an app, get it issued, get paid. And you can do that once a month. You can do it twice an hour. We don't care. You're going to totally control your schedule, totally control your income. Or option B is you can build an agency. You can attract some people to your agency. And if you attract enough, and it's not a whole lot, okay, it's like you and five others, and do a certain amount of premium 3 months in a row, you can become what we call an agency manager, which at that point is a 105% contract. At that point, you get to sign a contract with Symmetry, giving you contractual ownership of that agency. It's going to have your name on it for generations if you wanted to. You
Yep.
can pass it down to your kids, pass it down to your grandkids. You can sell it later on if you want to, but it's yours. Okay. You can own what you build. No territories, no minimums, no quotas. And the majority of people I ask those two questions to, Scott, want to build. Because I
Mhm.
want people thinking about building because it makes no sense to me to come here and not want everything Symmetry has to offer. Agency ownership, I think, is the single most important thing you can accomplish here because it's in your family, it's yours. And people take care of things that they own, okay? I don't think anybody that's on this call has ever washed a rental car before you turned it back in, okay? It's not yours. You don't care about it, all right? So, but here it's yours, and that's why it makes you particular. Y'all don't just take anybody now, Scott. Okay, there was a time you just take anybody. Okay, you had to wait 3 months on a couple of them to get off of parole. Okay, before you could get them. But now you know what you're looking for. Now you know what you can win with, and so it's all about it's all about what you want. I want to know what people want, so I know how to coach them. Plain and simple. Okay. So, but my agents, okay, people that have been here for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. I'll ask them because I can see, and you can see, you got people that are underperforming. Okay, they're not performing up to their ability. Here's a conversation I have with people. Let's talk about it again because I know we talked about this a couple of years ago, but tell me again what you want, and I let them think. See, because what they want is why they came here, but people get punched in the throat. They lose sight of what they want when they get
Yeah,
punched in the
quick.
throat.
Yeah.
And so I want to revisit that, but I'm going to ask them, number one, what do you want? And I'm going to let them think. See, that's the hard part for most people. People don't like empty air. You ask a question, they don't answer immediately, and then you start talking again. Listen to what they say. I want to know what they want because that's going to determine what they do. Second question, when they tell me it might be 500 bucks a month, it may be more freedom, maybe retiring my spouse, it may be retiring myself. I want to know what they want. Second question is, when do you want it? See, because you can't just want something. You can't just say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Your brain laughs at you, okay, because it knows you're not serious. You got to put a date to it. Until it has a date, it's just a wish. And
Right.
so when do you want it? I want to be an agency owner. When? When do you want it? We got to put a date on it. And you wait for answer, okay? And now you got a date. Third question is what you're currently doing getting you what you want? And I'm going to tell you, universally, that answer is no, which leads to question number four. What do you think you could tweak? See, I try not to use the word change a lot because people know change brings pain. We're wired to avoid pain. What do you think you could tweak that would get you what you want quicker? And that's it. I just want to take them back to why they came here the first time. Okay. Why? What do you want? That drives everything. I'm telling you, what you want determines what you do. What you do determines what you get. You want to get more, you got to want more. It's not a case of doing more. It's a case of wanting more. Because we all, listen to me, we all have time. Look, you said Liam is asleep. Okay. If you hear a scream come from his room, you can tell the difference between I'm awake scream and hungry to I'm hurt scream. Okay. If you hear a hurt scream, what are you going to do? You're
Run
going.
over there.
You're going. Okay. But we're on a Zoom, man. I mean, I'm talking here. You're going to get up and leave? Yes, you are, because it's important. Okay. We all have time for the important stuff. See, if you don't have time to dial, or if you didn't dial, because it wasn't a priority. If you're not
Mm,
running appointments, it's not a priority. You're not recruiting people, it's not a priority. You're not making money, it's not a priority. You can talk till the cows come home. It's not a priority. We all have time for the important stuff.
yeah. And I threw on one of our calls, I had thrown on a fifth question. I don't know when this was. It was probably a couple years back, but it
Yeah,
was what are you willing to sacrifice to get it?
absolutely.
And I don't think you could answer that question and that you would even be able to know what price you're paying unless you know exactly what you want.
That's right.
Okay. Because a lot of you guys would pay a really large price to have a little tiny bit of financial freedom right now. I'm talking like bills are paid, you don't have to stress. I'm not talking about getting rich. I think a lot of us would pay a really large price to have some financial freedom and flexibility right now and not have to go work for someone else.
How
So
about
if you
have a
can be
cash
crystal clear
Christmas?
on that,
Something
Danny.
that small, a cash Christmas. We can show you can recruit somebody today just by offering to show them how to have a cash Christmas. People, look, it's almost all adults on this call. How many of y'all like Christmas these days as an adult like you did when you were a kid?
Yeah.
See, people couldn't wait. They look for a kid between Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Eve seemed like 4 months. Now, as an adult, it seems like 4 days. We're not fired up about Christmas as much as we used to be because we thought it was free. We thought Santa brought everything. We found out as adults that's not exactly right. And so once again, that's another problem we can solve because a lot of people talk to people they're trying to recruit, Scott. They just talk about money, talk about money, talk about money, make this. I don't talk about money. I talk about what they say the money will do for them. I talk about that Disney trip. I talk about Christmas. I talk about the kids playing summer ball. 'Cause understand this, and you know this already, Scott, you and Kate, people will do more for their kids than they will for themselves. I came into the insurance industry 41 years ago because my kids were in private school and we couldn't figure out a way to pay it every month. I mean, I didn't realize early on those private schools they want that money every month. Who
Yep.
ever heard of that? So, but it's just all about more people. That's the thing. You can't think of one problem here that can't be solved with more people.
Yeah, definitely. I would be remiss to ask you another question right now with only 6 minutes left.
I
Is
can
there
answer two questions in 6 minutes. Try me.
I okay, cool. Yeah. Let's do well, you sent me this book. It's been one of my favorites.
How
I've got
about
it
that?
tattooed up frontwards and backwards. It's kind of like having a leadership Bible. I actually do have the John Maxwell Leadership Bible too. That one's really good. But this is like his best work all compiled into one book. What's one thing you learned? Because you say everyone kind of has a different person that speaks their language,
Sure.
and John Maxwell has spoken.
Sure.
He speaks mine too. what's one thing that you've taken from him and that you use in your business and that everyone needs to hear about?
I think the thing that changed my life the most because I saw him live in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in the insurance business about a year, and he went through the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership before it was published. It was awesome. There was 3,000 people in this amphitheater, and after about 8 minutes of him talking, it was just me and him sitting there. It's unbelievable how much that man had an impact on my life. But here's one thing he said that I think changed more things for me than anything. He said, "Work on your strengths, outsource your weaknesses." See, I'm good at two or three things, Scott, but I'm telling you, I am really, really good at those two or three things. And thank goodness those two or three things work here. But I outsource a lot of things I'm not good at. I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at insurance. I'm not good at products. I outsource those things. Okay. There's two parts of my business. One is the product part and one is the people part. I live on the people part. I don't even venture over into the product part. Not because I couldn't do it. I just don't want to do it. Okay. Because products are pennies and people are dollars. And so I have people that take care of that part of my business. I don't venture over there. I don't ask questions about it. I don't need to know anything about it. When they announced about a couple months ago that Navigator 2 is now live, I'm thinking, where's Navigator 1? I didn't know we had a Navigator 1, and now we got a 2. But see, that's not important to me. John Maxwell gave me permission to outsource that, and that's what I've done. And so I stay in my strengths. This is one of my strengths, doing the Zooms with individuals. Some of y'all I've had calls with, you know those things are of value. These calls are of value from the Schnitzers. That's why you need to participate in them. That was one. Look, we still got 3 minutes left.
It's good. Um, all right, cool. I got one from agency owners. What would you say to someone who wants to start part-time? This was
I
from
love
Helms.
part-time people. I love, love, love. I guarantee you I've got more part-time people than anybody in the company because there's a learning curve, okay? I want you to get through the learning curve without being desperate for money. I want you
Mm,
to be open to learning, open to changing before you get so desperate that you quit and go find some job that you're going to hate for the rest of your life. So I would look. I want people part-time, and I want to from the get-go. I don't even have to tell them this. I want to get them in position to where they can make that choice down the road to go full-time or not. I don't want
I
I don't want desperate people do desperate things. I don't want desperate people here. I don't want people that are at the on their last nerve trying to make enough money to pay their cell phone bill by this afternoon. Okay, I don't want that. I want part-time people that are just not making as much money as they'd like to make to do things for their kids and their spouse that they can't do right now.
definitely, definitely. Great. I love that. All right, cool. I got time for another one, it sounds like. Let's go. Let's go. If you had to start over and do this over again, the 80 to 130 trip, would you do it? Knowing that it was this good as it is for you and Sandy now, would you do it all
Oh,
over
in a
again?
heartbeat, in a heartbeat, and I
Yeah.
would I would do it
Yeah.
quicker because I know it's 100% about how many people I can attract to my business. And the winners are going to stay, and the losers are going to leave. Okay, and I'm going to be left with just the winners, and I'll be there quicker. And so I'm gonna find a way, and I know I found a way. Okay, it works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for anybody else. It works for me. I'm gonna find a good person, get that good person here, and I absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt that good person knows a lot of good people, and I'm gonna get in that person's market, and I'm gonna find some more good people. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it quicker. See, because now first time around I didn't know if it'd work or not. This time I know it works.
Can I pause on this for 1 second?
Sure.
So I this was actually a huge revelation for me when I was new. I heard Danny say this, and he called it mining a vein, which
Right.
in the oil industry, if you know anything about that, or what is it, gold? In the gold industry, if you know anything about that, I don't. He said that's when you find gold, you don't go dig somewhere else.
Yeah.
This was huge
and
for
and
me,
you
guys.
and you mine it until it runs out. And I got that one guy. Look, I got the one guy 19 years ago with that other IMO. One guy, and that one guy took me to a friend of his in Sacramento. Through her, got a friend of hers in Oklahoma City. Friend of hers, his in
That'll be
Oklahoma City.
$24 million of your business this year, by the way.
$24 million last year. 18 years later, he was responsible for 24 million of our 30 million that we did, and he only lasted a year. See, because when I recruit somebody, I want them to be with me forever, or I want them to have brought me somebody that's going to be with me forever.
Can I make one more comment on this too for my producers? Okay. Your good clients know good clients. Okay, guys.
Right.
We talk a lot about like the lead program around here. We get to talk to people. It's a blessing. Not all companies like ours offer leads. The way that I've built my business is when I find a good client, because of this revelation that I had through talking with Danny, why would I move on to the next lead if this client is a good client? I'm going to work through that vein. I'm going to stay with that person. I may go 12 or 15 people deep. Okay, that's what you want. You find a good lead, you work
Right.
that vein. Why would you go dig for gold somewhere else if you found a gold
Right.
client? I think the referral business here, whether you're building or producing, I want you guys to think about this. You find someone good, they know more good, right? If you find an A player, they're gonna be friends with A players. If you find an A lead, they're gonna be friends with more people that operate like them, that care about their families and want to protect them, and so on and
God,
so forth.
I've had some people in the last few months. I've been talking to people about. I mean, think about this. Think about how many clients you have right now. How long you been here? 3 years, something like that.
4 years, yeah.
Actually,
4 years. Think about how many clients you have. Listen, let me tell you what I know about your clients.
Yep.
They trust you
Yep.
and they believe in what we do because they're clients. How many, this is a question for everybody, how many of your clients have you recruited? They believe in what we do. Go back through your clients and ask them. You can just do a wellness check. And at the end, just say, look, also, I have so many people in your area that are asking to see us that I don't have enough time to see. Would you happen to know anybody that could use an extra $1,500, $2,000 a month working from home, generating more clients like you? And they will look, you'll get names and numbers that you can call and use your client's name as somebody that was referred to them that might be interested in our business. You can recruit a lot of people that way because you're talking to people that trust what we do. They trust you, they like you, they became your client, and they know what we're about. So you can get referrals for other insurance sales, but you can also get some of your clients will come work with us because they saw the process. They saw how simple it was.
True that.
It's the thought, and they're free.
True that. Absolutely. I could sit here and do this for 4 hours, but they told us we had to be done at 1, and it's 1:02.
All right. I appreciate being asked, man. I
It's
seriously
good to
do.
see
We're
you.
going to
It's
take
good to
over the
hang out.
world.
It's
We're
really
going to
good
take
to
over
hang
the
out with you.
world, and it's going to be, look, y'all going to be such a big part of this thing. It's unbelievable because you got good people bringing good people. People want to win. People willing
Amen.
to put in the work. People are willing to sacrifice. They're willing to do without until they get where they're trying to get. So I'm excited for y'all, man.
Amen. Thank you for your time, Danny. We appreciate
My
you more
pleasure.
than anything.
Anytime, anytime, anytime. Love me some Schnitzers, okay? Hurry up, move back down there. For sale. Go to Home Depot today. For sale. All right.
Get me a lot in that neighborhood, man.
I'll buy you one in this neighborhood. Okay. All right, y'all. Thanks here.
You guys have a great day.
More people.